Welcome to The Fix. Saturday night at Richmond Raceway was a really exciting race with Kyle Busch making a late race charge to the front to collect his third straight win of the season. You can order your race win diecast at lionelracing.com or through our call center at 1-800-952-0708. And next, we have some great new releases this week for you. Up first, we have Ryan Preece in the number 18 Rheem Toyota Camry that he won the Xfinity race with at Bristol. Then we have Clint Boyer in the number 14 NASCAR Ford Hall of Fans Ford Fusion. Then we have Spencer Boyd in the number 76 Grunt Style Xfinity Series Chevy Camaro. And last but not least, we have Bubba Wallace in the number 43 Food Line Chevy Camaro ZL1. Get all these great new releases at lionelracing.com or through our call center at 1-800-952-0708.
I'm here today with a very special guest, Richard Childress Racing driver, Daniel Hemric. Daniel, man, thanks so much for joining us on The Fix.
Yeah, man, I'm happy to be here. It's a cool place, first time being here, so happy to be, that's for sure.
Well, this past weekend was really big for you. You made your first NASCAR Cup Series start in the number 8 with Richard Childress. So I got to ask you, growing up just down the road in Kannapolis, North Carolina, did you ever think that you'd make it to this level of NASCAR competition?
Oh, absolutely not. I can remember driving by Delaware Incorporated as a kid, and that was like the staple point of what the top of the sport was. And to know that, the years went by and kind of fought and clawed and did everything I could to hopefully try to get to this level, never thought it was actually possible. And so to make my debut at Richmond in the 8 car with the Smoky Mountain Herbal Snuff on board and a group and the partners and a team in Richard Childress Racing, all the stuff that goes into what makes that special, unbelievable day for me.
So what did you find out? What was it like when you found out that you were going to be driving the famous number 8 for Richard Childress Racing at Richmond this past weekend?
Really, I didn't have a lot of time to process it. We were out on the West Coast, going through the West Coast swing, earlier this season, and at the time there were a couple different numbers in the works of what it was going to be. And I was supposed to go on Race Hub on Tuesday following Fontana to announce, that I was going to make my Cup debut. Oh, yeah. Well, I had from that Saturday till that Tuesday, and that's when Richard and everybody let me know, like, hey, it's going to be number 8. And I was like, and in all honesty, like that number was never even discussed with me, so I didn't have a lot of time to even think about it. So going on the Race Hub, going on and announcing our deal, I was still trying to process it all. And after the fact, I'm like, man, it's huge. It's a huge deal. And the 3 was a big number for me. Obviously the 8, growing up in the same area from Kannapolis, and just seeing all the fans' reactions, you never know how that's going to all turn out. But it was cool to see a lot of people very supportive to see the number 8 back on the racetrack, to go be able to do that at Richmond. And didn't really run like we wanted to run, but just the number itself being out there was special to not only myself but to a lot of people. So I'm very excited to know we can do it again later this fall at Charlotte, and just a very surreal deal to have it all come together like it did.
So when you were racing number 8 at Richmond, did you run into fans who were fans of Dale Jr. number 8? Did they say anything? Good feedback? Did you have some questionable feedback out of that?
No, it was actually pretty positive. I thought it was going to be a little bit more backlash than there actually was. That's but good. Being at the racetrack, it was cool. I remember going to an autograph session and seeing people walking around in the 8 Cup t-shirts, just because of the number, let alone they didn't know who I was. So being able to put it all together and then meet those folks, and put a face to the driver of number 8 now, it was cool. Cool to see all this stuff come together.
All right, so Richmond's passed. You got your first Cup race under your belt. So for your first Cup race and then your second season in Xfinity, what's the biggest difference that you can tell us from the Cup cars to the Xfinity cars?
The biggest thing, like I said, I only got one full Xfinity season and one Cup race to go off of. But the biggest difference was everything you fight on the Xfinity side, it's just magnified. The atmosphere is more intense. What you struggle with, like I said, in the Xfinity car, whether it's getting the power down or sliding around, all those little things are just magnified. So when you make that switch, this week being my first time doing double duty in any form of NASCAR, it's a lot of processing on a really quick basis. It was fun because it kind of took me back to short track racing. For the longest time, I didn't have any set rides, so I was bouncing between a Northern Tour modified car or a super late model or a pro late model or getting back in a legend car. So I was having to adapt really quickly. Yeah. So over the course of making my debut at Richmond and getting back in the Xfinity car and switching back and forth, it took me back to that stuff. And so I really enjoyed the challenge of it, and it was fun to know that I had the opportunity for one, but just to have that short track feel to it of having to just learn on the fly and pick stuff up quick, and it was really cool to get back in that atmosphere.
So you mentioned your next Cup Series race is going to be here at Charlotte at the fall race, but it's at the Roval. So got to know, a track that you've never ran before, do you think that's going to be really tough, or do you think that's actually going to help equalize the playing field since nobody's really ran there? And have you practiced there or anything yet?
Yeah, you hit on it. I think it's a great opportunity just for the fact that it's new for everybody. Right. I actually got my call to get into a Cup car for the first time last year at the initial Roval test. My wife and I were down vacationing in Mexico, and I got the call from Richard and said, "Hey man, you want to drive a Cup car for the first time?" And I'm like, "That's fine, but I'm in Mexico." And he said, "Well, if you can be back in 3 days, Newman or Austin, they all got stuff going on, so we need you to jump in." So I got to take part in, like I said, the initial test, and it was myself and Truex and Kurt Busch and McMurray and pretty good guys. Yeah. So it was really cool to be able to interact with those guys, interact with NASCAR to figure out what the layout was actually going to be. We were moving cones, moving chicanes, doing a lot of different stuff, to figure out how the whole layout of the racetrack was going to be. So got to really have a good mental picture going back, this fall, knowing that I've been on the racetrack, not the exact racetrack, but I know what to expect. I know the surface, the grip, all that stuff. I feel like gives me, I don't think I can ever get an advantage with only my second start and doing on a road course. Right. But I feel like I'll be as prepared as I could possibly be.
Okay. That's gonna be really cool to see you back on track though at the Roval, first time track, second race, back in the number 8.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in the number 8 and back at my hometown racetrack. Have hometown crowd, family, friends, everybody that supported me and watched me race on the quarter mile at Charlotte for years.
Right, that'd be great.
And then they watched me race on the 1.5 miles. Now I get to race on the third configuration. That's the Roval. So really special moment to be able to go there and do it in front of the hometown crowd.
So we all know you're here from Kannapolis. The hometown here is NASCAR country. I mean, got Charlotte Motor Speedway, home of Dale Sr., Dale Jr. I grew up here in Kannapolis. All this NASCAR history here. Did you have a racing hero growing up?
Yeah, for me, that guy was always Dale Earnhardt. My first NASCAR memory was Dale Earnhardt battling with Terry Labonte of Bristol. Late 90s, 96, 97, that range.
Rattle his cage. And that
absolutely, yeah. All in that time, I remember sitting there watching that race, and that's when I actually knew, like, man, this is my guy. Yeah. So. I followed his his career up until his passing, and that left me kind of lost. And at the time, I was really getting going racing myself. So all that stuff always tied into me, being a number 3 in bandoleros and go-karts, and never got to have number 3 in anything else I grew up in. But that was my guy, and to know that here at Lionel they have the makers of not only his diecast, but hey, they also make mine now. So it's really special.
So when you had these racing heroes, did you collect any NASCAR diecast or any memorabilia when you were growing up?
Yeah, I remember having I think I had a little jacket. Everybody had the jackets with good wrench all over, and I think I had one with a polar bear when they had the Coke, special Coke. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So I had a lot of different stuff like that, and I remember really tragic time when Dale passed, but that was only 5 miles from my house, Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. So I can remember fans just being lined down the streets, and I remember taking one of my jackets and a Dale Earnhardt, little bear I had as a kid, and putting it outside by the fence as kind of a tribute that many people had flocked from all over the world to come do that.
For days or weeks. Yeah,
absolutely. So it was a tough time, but something I remember, and it's cool to know that somebody from the same area is back.
So speaking of diecast, memorabilia, collectibles, I got to show you what we got you today.
Okay.
So we have, this is your 2018 South Print Camaro. This is your Xfinity car from this year. No one else has even seen it yet. This is what we call a prototype, which is pretty rare, and our collectors love prototypes. It's got that sticker on the back window and the one on the front. So this is the first one off the line. And we kind of wanted to give it to you today for joining us on the show today.
That is unbelievable, man. Thank you so much. That's it's so cool to see see my name on it, and obviously with the supporter in South Point Hotel Casino to know that this is the first one. So I really appreciate it, man. It's really special.
And the great thing about this car is, I mean, it's still online, so they can still order it. It's still available. LanaRacing.com, 800-952-0708. Got to tell them, got to order this car.
You've got to order this car.
It's one of your first ones, right? I mean,
absolutely, man.
Yeah.
This is definitely my first ones, and to know that it's just so perfect. Every little detail, everything is identical to the race car. I was just at the race shop yesterday, and identical to this. So yeah, make sure everybody goes and checks this out. Still available, and I'm glad I got the first one.
Okay, so fans, it's a prototype. Don't be hitting him up on Twitter asking for this car. He's not going to give it up.
But he told you where to go to get it.
All right, Daniel, man, I can't thank you enough for joining us on The Fix today. It's been a great show and answering all these questions that we have for you. One final thing, we got to tell the fans, they cannot forget to pre-order the number 8
Smoky Mountain Herbal Snuff Chevrolet. I'm pumped about it. I've seen pictures of it. I haven't seen one in person yet, but anybody wants to check it out, then go on LionelRacing.com. Obviously, this is really cool, but having the 8 car would be even that much cooler. So hopefully you guys can go check it out. Buy a couple from these folks, and it's cool to be on here.
So check it out, LionelRacing.com, or call 800-952-0708 and pre-order those today. This week on Collector Spotlight, we're changing it up a little bit. If you remember last week at Richmond, we had a caution flag contest giveaway on Twitter where we would ask you a question and all you had to do is reply with your answer, and we would randomly select a winner. The first caution flag question was, what was the first diecast you've ever owned? Congratulations to Steed, where his first diecast was Tony Stewart's 2002 Atlanta win, and he even got it signed last fall. And for the second caution flag, we wanted to hear about your autographed diecast collection. And the winner for this one was Maureen Holt, who has at least 200 autographed diecasts, but her favorite one is this Ricky Stenhouse Jr. autographed diecast that she had signed, and he really made an impression on her when he really truly seemed to care about her and asked her how she was doing when she was battling breast cancer. And the third caution of the night had us asking you, what diecast would make your collection complete? Congratulations, James Booth, who says any Brad Keselowski sample or prototype would be awesome because he's never seen one in person. Caution flag number 4, we asked, what is your favorite paint scheme of 2018 so far? And the winner of a free 2018 diecast is Alex Huffman, who says he has to go with Bubba Wallace in his Click and Close Chevrolet Camaro ZL1. Caution flag number 5, we asked, what is your favorite paint scheme of all time? The winner of this one is Travis, whose favorite paint scheme is the Davey Allison Texaco Havoline car. In the last caution flag of the night, we asked, whose race win diecast will we be offering after tonight's race? Congratulations, Chris Haynes. You are the winner of this one because Kyle Busch did get his 3 in a row. We'll be doing more of these caution flag prize giveaways throughout the season, so be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram.